So what have you been able to learn about this experience? What happened here?
The day after Jason's funeral, we received a letter in the mail from the Marine Corps, the headquarters of School of Infantry.
Yes.
And on the morning of July 15th, Jason attended breakfast with his platoon. Marine close to him reported Jason was laughing and joking with his peers in good spirit. And then just before 8, Jason and his platoon returned to the squad bay, in which they lived and changed clothes to conduct a run in physical training. Jason was told to change back into uniform and wait in the squad bay with the 2 Marines on duty. And he was going to be called up to my office to discuss the situation, so I could make a determination as to sending him back to training or sending him home.
And then what happened? Was there more to the letter?
Yes, there's more. Then when the platoon departed on the run, Jason was seen heading back to the squad bay to change. He was discovered in the squad bay when the platoon returned from training. One of my non-commissioned officers immediately began CPR while the ambulance was called. Jason was only with our battalion for a short time, having been transferred to us after having some difficulties in his training battalion. It seemed Jason was having difficulty time accepting that he was years older than the 18-year-olds he was training with. When he wasn't as fast or had much endurance as the youngest and as the younger Marines, he took it very personally.
How old was Jason at this point?
Jason was 25.
25.
Yes.
But he'd been a sprinter. He'd been a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
He seemed unable to accept all of us older Marines have to face that their best effort was completely acceptable and his performance was fine. Additionally, he was troubled by his separation from his family. In the letter from his training battalion that was sent with him when he transferred to us, they speak very highly of him, personally and professionally. He was doing well. You may find comfort in the knowledge that his final days were filled with thoughts of you and Diana. He was frequently seen pulling your pictures from his pocket and looking at them, showing them to the Marines around him. Conversations my staff had with Jason were filled with talks of his family. I cannot say what the outcome of my conversation with Jason on the morning of the 15th would have been, but I sincerely wish he could have found the strength to continue on until I could have spoken regardless of his future in the Marine Corps. He was doing his duty and serving his country. That was the letter to his wife.
Was that from the adjutant? Who signed that letter?
It's blackened out, so I guess.
Does it identify their position? Does it say adjutant or
headquarters of the support battalion commander? So I assume major.
He was the commanding officer of the support battalion?
Yeah, he's a major.
Now, when did you or Diane receive Jason's body?
His wife's name is Christina. I'm sorry, I said his
Christina.
Accident. I'm sorry, I said his daughter by accident.
When did you or Christina receive his body?
His body came home. It was delayed due to the autopsy. His body came home on July 22nd.
Who conducted the autopsy?
Military.
Did you have a second autopsy conducted?
No.
Did you receive the autopsy report?
Yes.
What did the autopsy report say?
Asphyxiation from hanging.
Death due to asphyxiation from hanging.
Yeah.
And did it assert that this was a suicide?
That's what they claim, but we totally disagree.
And I know you have a lot of correspondence with Jason that went to Christina or to you. And I take it that's part of the reason why you think that this is wrong, not to mention, of course, that his attitude seemed to be very cheerful, very contrary to what you might expect of someone who would be inclined to commit suicide.
Right. Jason was carefree. He lived life.
It seems like a very, unlikely moment in his Marine Corps experience to be committing suicide if, after all, he was about to undergo a conversation, an interview, that might have led to his discharge from the Marine Corps and return to his family.
Yes. Yes. And the statements that we got from Marines and everybody don't make no sense. Timetable's not right. Not right at all. Tell
me about these things, what you've learned from other Marines in the timetable, Vicki.
Okay. Because they said that Jason was seen at 8 o'clock, and then approximately 35 minutes, they returned from their training.
Yes.
They went out for a PT, and that they got back around 8:43, and they got Jason in this one statement. They got Jason in 2 different buildings.
Really?
Yes, there's 2 different buildings. You got building 836 and you got building 829.
And this is at the same time?
Yes. That he was sitting there.
Do you know the difference between those buildings, what the buildings were?
One was separation building and one was legal, a legal building.
And what time do they have him in each of those buildings?
They have...
Approximately, how close together were the times? Were they exactly the same?
Yeah. The time was the same, but the buildings are right next to each other. They don't want to have Jason in the right building.
Uh-huh.
And then the other part of this man's statement is that since he has been in charge of Pirro, he has never indicated to me he was depressed or wanted to commit suicide. Pirro seemed to be laid back and relaxed most of the time.
Pirro, do I know the word Pirro?
Pirro is Jason's last name.
Okay. And who was giving you that report about him?
The name's blacking out.
But it was somebody in charge, like a sergeant or something, a platoon sergeant.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, you've had conversation with other Marines about Jason?
Yes, I had conversations with fellow Marines that were with Jason down at Camp Geiger.
What have they had? Yes.
They spoke very highly of Jason. Jason was in training all week. Jason was off days, 4th of July weekend, training all week up until the 9th. And Jason even got to see his daughter Father's Day weekend in June.
Now, you've talked with, or you've had communication with 2 different Marines?
I had, yes.
Was that in writing, or was that over the phone? Or
a phone conversation, and I have one in a instant message chat. And he agrees that Jason did not commit suicide.
Did they offer opinions about what was going on here?
No. I think Jason was at the wrong place, wrong time. That's my opinion.
You mean like he might have walked in on somebody?
Yes.
Maybe doing drugs or having sex, or who knows?
Who knows these days? But all I know is wrong place, wrong time.
So he could have been taken out because he'd been a witness to something he shouldn't have witnessed?
Yes. And the Marine that I spoke to that was with him spoke very highly of Jason. He said it was an honor knowing Jason. And he even recommended I go to the radio station and the media.
And have you done any of that?
Yes, I have a copy of my chat with him.
Did you go to the media or to the radio? Before now?
I sent letters out to everybody, but it never got anywhere. And then you're the only person that let me come on the radio station to tell my story.
Vicki, I'm just so sorry to hear all this. As a former Marine, I'm disturbed by the various stories I'm getting from various services, but, my feeling about the Marine Corps is this is the sort of thing that should absolutely never happen. that there's no excuse for it, and that it deserves a thorough investigation.